being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, bull sometimes.
In their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray.
And why would a religious man like himself be at a party, which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro? Where there's drinking, maybe fornicating.
You know, back when Bryshere Gray was absolutely it as Hakeem Lion on Empire, he was like a fan favorite. Everyone thought he was destined for superstardom after the show ended. But then, out of nowhere, it was like he vanished off the face of the earth. No more gigs, no movies, no nothing. It was super weird, and everyone was scratching their heads wondering what happened to him. Well, it seems like we finally have some answers. Turns out Bryshere's exit from the entertainment industry wasn't exactly his choice. Apparently, he didn't want to get involved in some shady freak-offs that were going on behind the scenes. And that didn't sit well with some big names in Hollywood. So, cue the consequences and enter cancel culture. Bryshere was out of the industry faster than you can imagine. Now, the names allegedly involved in this mess might surprise some people, and others might not be shocked at all. We're talking about big shots like Will Smith and T.D. Jakes. That's right. Allegedly, Will Smith may have tried to coerce Bryshere into doing some questionable stuff with T.D. Jakes. But Bryshere refused, and supposedly, that cost him his career. And of course, the one name that's connected to all of this is none other than Diddy. So, how did Bryshere get into this mess in the first place? Let's rewind a bit. Back in his teenage days, Bryshere crossed paths with Charlie Mack, a talent manager with a knack for spotting potential stars. Charlie worked his magic and got Bryshere an audition for Empire. Bryshere nailed it and landed the role of Hakeem Lion, which was a massive break for him. Fast forward to Hollywood, with Charlie guiding Bryshere through the complex industry maze. Charlie wasn't just any manager, he was well connected. He knew everyone who was anyone in Tinseltown, including Will Smith. Naturally, Will and Bryshere hit it off right away. I mean, Bryshere was it on Empire, and Will was seriously impressed. It seemed like a dream team in the making. Who wouldn't want to be mentored by the Fresh Prince himself, right? But things took a dark turn when Will allegedly wanted more than just a mentor-mentee relationship. According to the grapevine, the real shocker was the alleged freak fiesta that Will had going on with Diddy. So the story goes that Diddy and Will allegedly roped Bryshere into these freak-offs, promising to help boost his career in return. At first, it seemed like a tempting offer, but after a few rounds of this explicit lifestyle, Bryshere had enough and decided to opt out, finding it all too much to handle.
In their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray.
Bryshere's decision to distance himself from Diddy and Will came right before Empire wrapped up, leaving him jobless and with a tarnished reputation. Post-Empire, Bryshere's life seemed to spiral downward, and initially people thought he just couldn't handle his fame. But the real kicker is the alleged fallout with Diddy and Will. According to rumors, they were furious that Bryshere dared to walk away from their arrangements. Allegedly, Diddy and Will didn't take kindly to Bryshere's departure. They supposedly pulled some serious strings to blacklist him from the industry. Remember how Cassie spilled the tea about Diddy threatening her career when she tried to leave? Well, if the rumors are true, Bryshere faced a similar fate. Allegedly, Diddy and Will ruined his career as a form of revenge, and there are even whispers that they used threats to keep him silent. So, if you've ever wondered why Bryshere's career didn't soar despite having A-list mentors like Will Smith and Diddy, the rumors suggest they might be the ones who allegedly kicked him out of the spotlight in the first place. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Apparently, it wasn't just Will and Diddy that Bryshere was allegedly doing these freak-offs with. T.D. Jakes was supposedly involved too. I mean, we all know how close he is with Diddy. He even officiated Kim Porter's funeral. That's how tight they are. And apparently T.D. Jakes also shows up at Diddy's infamous parties. This has got a lot of people scratching their heads, wondering why a man of God is hanging out at those kinds of shindigs. Even Diddy's former bodyguard raised an eyebrow at this. He's saying the only reason T.D. Jakes would be at one of Diddy's parties is if he's involved in the same stuff that goes down there.
And why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro? Where there's drinking, maybe fornicating. It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on at the parties.
And then there's Jaguar Wright adding her 2 cents, saying that at Diddy's parties, it's all about money and So if TD Jakes is there, he's there for one of those two things, money or sex.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons. Money or That's all that happens at Diddy parties.
Also, on December 21st, 2023, TD Jakes found himself in some serious hot water, and it all started with a viral TikTok video dropping some major bombshells about him. After Cassie settled her lawsuit with Diddy, this TikTok user spilled some serious tea. Apparently, Cassie handed over some stuff to the FBI, including tapes from Diddy's wild parties and even Kim Porter's secret phone. According to the TikToker, there's this clip floating around where some guy spills the beans about Cassie dishing out tapes showing Diddy's crazy parties involving TD Jakes, along with a bunch of other big shots. The party supposedly got pretty scandalous, with claims of hooking up with multiple men left and right.
I'm also told that multiple male escorts corroborated the fact that TD Jakes have slept with multiple men at Diddy's parties and abroad, and they refer to him as being a power bottom.
The email says, so I want to put you up on game on the real nature of Diddy and Bishop Jakes' relationship. But first, let's understand that Bishop Jakes is not of God. He is undoubtedly a Freemason, and so was Diddy. And I say he was, because it seems as though he has been stripped of his protection, privileges, and power. But make no mistake about it, his soul is still spoken for by the devil. He will never be able to fend off or escape that harsh reality. Anyways, I'm told Diddy and Jakes mask the real nature of their relationship. According to the email back in June 1983, Kim Porter claimed TD Jakes was accused of messing with a young guy just a year after tying the knot with his wife. The word is, the whole thing got hushed up somehow. Fast forward to 1999, when a guy threatened to spill the beans on Jakes. Mysteriously, he vanished. Pastor Blank spills that the dude got paid off to stay quiet. 2 years later, the same guy turns up dead with to the head. No names, though. This all went down at Emmanuel Temple of Faith in Smithers, West Virginia. Rumor has it folks from Jake's hometown insist he's been on the down low with guys all along, and there's even talk of some older Pastor G wording him. When Jakes hits up Diddy's shin, rumor has it he's throwing back massive amounts of booze and puffing on in some exclusive part of the house. Now, just because he's in a private area that's invite only doesn't mean he's off the radar. Apparently, he's still under watch. Oh, and the bishop's wife never shows up to Diddy's bashes. Word is she's well aware of what's going down. People are saying she's questioned why she's never been on the guest list. But we gotta remember, these are just some crazy claims floating around on social media. No hard evidence. Still, that didn't stop everyone from going nuts on social platforms. One person said, surprised but not surprised about TD Jakes because he was good friends with Eddie Long and birds of a feather flock. Another said, I'm glad all this stuff is hitting the fan. Time for Hollywood to finally be exposed. And then there's this psychic on TikTok who apparently predicted all this drama 2 years ago. She went on this wild rant claiming that Jakes is mixed up with some shady stuff, like being a Freemason, taking oaths to the dark side, and serving Satan as his top boss. According to her, he's using his spiritual gifts to play mind games with folks. But wait, it gets juicier. She even predicted that Jakes would find himself smack dab in the middle of one of the biggest scandals ever, hinting that it would revolve around his preferences.
Is a Freemason, that this man has taken occultic vows and that he is part of a brotherhood, that he is serving Satan, who is his true Lord and in public and shameful faults. The Lord said that Bishop TD Jakes will have one of the biggest scandals of all time in the Christian church.
While there's no concrete proof to back up the claims against TD Jakes, he's no stranger to controversy. Back in 2009, his son Jermaine got himself into some trouble for allegedly doing some shady stuff at Keys Park in Dallas. And just last year, there was more drama. Jake's daughter's estranged husband was accused of some really awful stuff with their adopted daughter. With all this drama swirling around, people are seriously questioning whether TD Jakes can still be seen as a trusted man of God. Gene Deal even chimed in, saying he can't see Jakes as his type of pastor because his own house isn't in order.
I'm serious, that's not my type of pastor. You know, you got to look at a person's household, and if your household is not in order.
And it's not just him. A lot of folks like Luanell are disappointed and questioning their faith in Jakes. She says she's been let down by people she's looked up to before, so she can't put it past Jakes to be involved in the rumors.
Ridiculous. I shook my head to say, unfortunately, I don't put nothing past nobody no more.
There you go.
I just can't get shocked no more.
Yep.
I've been so disappointed in the people that I've looked up to.
I mean, considering everything we now know about Diddy, it's natural to question the morals of someone like TD Jakes. And as for Will Smith, rumors about his preferences have been swirling for years, and a lot of industry insiders have backed this up. Take what Eddie Griffin said, for example. He recently made some waves on his new platform, where he dives into all things comedy, conspiracy theories, and of course his favorite topic, the Illuminati. Griffin suggests that the powers that be always hint at their plans in media before they actually unfold. He said, they have to let us know first. Before they can do anything to us, that's heavenly rules right there. That's how God laid it out for these little demon people. They can't mess with us without letting us know that they're about to mess with us. He points to several TV shows and movies as evidence, and interestingly, he brings up Will Smith's role in 6 Degrees of Separation.
Hey, look at all the Simpson episodes, like the one when they Kobe in the helicopter. See? You think that's a coincidence? Look at Will Smith in that gay scene in 6 Degrees of Separation. Y'all acting surprised. They've been telling us.
According to Griffin, this movie was a subtle nod to Will's preference, hinting that the rumors about him being might have some weight. Eddie Griffin's comments also stirred up more chatter, especially when you tie it in with what Cat Williams said a while back about Will Smith. Cat hinted that Will might be kind of a power slave, doing whatever it takes to get to the top in Hollywood. This suggests he might not be fully in control, like there are puppet masters behind the scenes pulling the strings on his career moves.
Will Smith is not the that he is solely on the merits of Will Smith or his family. There are 300 corporations that are a part of the Will Smith business. And if you are the people that are in business with him, when you decide that you're going to do something, you can do it too.
Remember the whole Oscars drama where Smith smacked Chris Rock? Well, Williams suggests it was all a setup, a carefully orchestrated show to keep Smith in check. Williams emphasizes that in the world of showbiz, where illusion often trumps reality, such stage dramas are more common than one might think. We have to understand that these are two in our field if you're a black person. This is the two guys, too big and too good to be involved in what they're in. That would make sense if it was me and Michael Blackson slapping each other, not Will Smith and Chris Rock. When two large boulders come together and you can't see Chris Rock winning at all, he's humiliated. If you were going to slap a comedian, he was the #1 to slap, head of the coons, so slappable. If you're gonna slap him, you just need the greatest guy, the best guy, the one who's shown us his best behavior since the 90s. That guy is the one who will have to slap him in order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing.
If you were going to slap a comedian, he was the #1 to slappable. And if you're going to slap him, you just need the greatest guy. That guy is the one that will have to slap him in order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing.
Moreover, Williams suggests that Smith's decline in recent projects, such as the ill-fated After Earth with his son Jaden, signals a deliberate move by these puppeteers to discredit and sideline him. By orchestrating scenarios that lead to public scrutiny and professional setbacks, they effectively render Smith unemployable in the eyes of Hollywood's power brokers. They fiddle with the perception of the people, and that's part of the job. Back in the day, it used to be called propaganda. Now it's just called business. They don't say we gotta smear the candidate, they just smear him. Whoever made you is qualified to break you, that's the end of it. When they bought you and put you on that Fox show, it was because you were going to do this and only this. You'll never do that. As soon as you breach that, they done with you too. They decided they were finished with Will when he did After Earth with Jaden. From there, they've done what was necessary to take him from $20 million a movie to put him in a position where maybe it can appear he has a nervous breakdown and is now unemployable.
Facts.
They had decided that they were finished with Will when he did After Earth with Jaden. And from there, they've done what was necessary to take him from a $20 million movie to put him in a position where maybe it can appear he has a nervous breakdown and now is unemployable.
Drawing parallels to the ongoing controversies surrounding Diddy, Williams implies that both Smith and Diddy are victims of a system that chews up and spits out its brightest stars when they are no longer deemed useful. It's really eye-opening how messed up Hollywood can get. It's like some of our favorite celebs will do just about anything to climb that fame and power ladder. But then, when they reach the top, they start pulling some seriously shady stuff, thinking they're untouchable thanks to their puppeteers. But as they say, what happens in the dark always finds its way into the light. Circling back to Smith's preference, some people are starting to wonder if the whole relationship with his wife is just a front, covering up something way more complicated. Remember back in November 2023 when his former assistant Bilal spilled some major tea during an interview with YouTuber Tasha K? Allegedly, Will and Dwayne were caught in some compromising adult activities in Dwayne's dressing room. I opened the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne having with Will, Bilal said. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up him, him. It was in there, he added.
So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal with Will.
Bilal explained that he was searching for Smith after receiving calls from producers on his walkie-talkie and phone, urging him to locate Will and bring him back to the set of an unnamed production. Will denied it, of course, rubbishing the claims made by Bilal as unequivocally false. A spokesperson for the Men in Black actor called the assertions as completely fabricated and said Smith was considering taking legal action over the accusations. And then there's Trisha Paytas chiming in, accusing Will Smith of allegedly pushing her male dancers into some seriously uncomfortable situations. According to her, those dancers found themselves doing more than just dancing, and not by choice.
Worry about eating husband my male dancers, when they didn't want to. How about talk about that?
Now, let's rewind to 2016. The late actress Alexis Arquette claimed that Will Smith's ex-wife, Cherie Zampino, divorced him because she caught Will in bed with another man. According to Daily Mail, Arquette spilled the tea in a now-deleted Facebook post, hinting that Jada Pinkett Smith might have a story of her own to tell. In the words of Alexis, when Jada comes out as and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked into him servicing his sugar daddy, Benny Medina, then I will listen to them. Now, Bryshere Gray might not be the only one who got roped into these alleged freak-offs with this shady trio. There's also Justin Bieber. So last year, Justin Bieber started making headlines again after Cassie's lawsuit came out, and that lawsuit really started unraveling some dark stuff about Diddy. Initially, it seemed like maybe people were overreacting about how toxic things could have been for Justin around Diddy. But now, with all this new info, it's hard to deny that something really sketchy was going on. Jaguar Wright also shed some light on this in her latest interview with Storm Monroe. She talked about that unsettling video where Justin is seen with Odell Beckham and Trey Songz. In the video, it kind of looks like Justin might be doing something pretty compromising with Odell, like going down on him. Some fans tried to brush it off, saying maybe Justin was just high on which is still pretty bad because it's these older guys encouraging a younger guy into that lifestyle. But Jaguar set the record straight. It wasn't just some thing. She said it was exactly what it looked like Justin was doing. And she pointed out Justin's noticeably wet mouth at the end of that clip as proof that it wasn't innocent at all. And it looked like Justin Bieber might not have been into what was going on because Jaguar Wright mentioned that Trey Songz was basically playing lookout, making sure no one, especially the paparazzi, caught what was happening with Odell Beckham and Justin. It's a pretty twisted setup when you think about it.
And then I think about that really disturbing footage of Bieber, Odell Beckham, and Trey Songz.
Yes.
And Trey's literally sitting there playing lookout.
Playing lookout as Justin Bieber goes down on Odell.
The boy came up with his mouth wet.
Mouth wet.
According to Jaguar Wright, this downward spiral for Justin probably started after he spent those infamous 48 hours with Diddy. Remember that footage where Diddy's promising Justin a Lamborghini and a house during their staycation? Now that we know more about Diddy, that video just gives people the creeps. It's hard to watch without imagining what Justin had to endure under the guise of Diddy's mentorship. And yes, Diddy did end up giving Justin that Lamborghini. As soon as Justin got his driver's license, he was seen driving a Lambo that looked just like the one Diddy talked about giving him. If Diddy didn't give it to him, then that's one heck of a coincidence, right? But here's the thing, why would Diddy give such an extravagant gift to a young artist out of the blue? A lot of folks think Diddy was playing the role of a sugar daddy, lavishing expensive gifts on Justin in return for some favors.
Yeah, the keys is yours when when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then when you get 18, you get the house. But for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full. buck fool crazy.
After hearing about all the terrible things Diddy allegedly did to Cassie, detailed in her lawsuit, and what Lil Rod has claimed, it seems like Justin Bieber might have had it even worse because he was so young when he got involved with Diddy. You can see the difference if you look at a video of Justin from back then, so young and innocent, compared to how he appeared just a few years later. It's clear he went through a lot, but it's kind of wild that people are only starting to piece things together now, even though the red flags were there the whole time. There's this one clip where Justin is visibly nervous while talking to Diddy, stumbling over his words because Diddy caught him off guard. The rumor is that Justin's team had been keeping him away from Diddy for a bit because they thought Diddy was a bad influence and was messing with Justin's health, both mentally and physically. So when Diddy showed up out of the blue, ready to dive back into their old dynamics, things got super tense. There's also this other video where it looks like Diddy is patting Justin down, maybe to check if he was wearing a wire, which is just bizarre. Whatever Diddy whispered to Justin at the end, it left Justin ending the meeting with a "love you." Another thing people often overlooked was how Justin Bieber's problems with and other substances seemed to escalate after he started hanging out with Diddy. Take the 2014 Cyric party Diddy threw, where Justin was seen holding a bottle that was supposed to be Aqua Hydrate, a brand of water. But if you took a closer look, the liquid in the bottle Justin had was suspiciously yellow, hinting it might not have been water after all, possibly or something else. Years down the line, Justin openly shared how tough that period was for him. He was hurting, unhappy, confused, and even felt angry at God. It's a stark contrast to the image of him living it up at the height of his career. Despite the flashy lifestyle, Justin was struggling with some deep issues. As you all know, Meek Mill was named in the Lil Rod lawsuit as the rapper who Diddy has allegedly had intercourse with. Jaguar Wright talked about Diddy in her recent interview with Storm Monroe, hinting she's sure he's given that behind up many times for the diddler. She even called Meek a power bottom.
Is it power bottom? I knew Meek was power bottoming.
Wow.
Well, he already done got the broke in. I just didn't know that that's why he was faking it with Nicki.
But this is not the first time Jaguar has talked about Meek Mill being passed around in the industry. In an interview with Real Life Productions, she said Meek Mill might have been used by the Smiths when he went to them for mentorship.
Well, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill.
Is anyone surprised that Will and Jada are close friends with Diddy? I mean, if Meek Mill was Diddy's side piece, he definitely could have borrowed him to the Smiths if they wanted some fresh cheeks to spread. And with all the drama around Diddy lately, old pics and clips of Meek Mill are popping up again, sparking a whole lot of chatter. Like there's this photo floating around of Meek Mill and Diddy in matching pajamas, which kind of makes you wonder if they were having cozy sleepovers. Then there's this clip where Diddy calls Meek daddy. And I mean, hearing two grown men call each other, that isn't your everyday buddy-buddy talk. Even more intriguing is this video from a club where Meek Mill is performing, and Diddy just snaps his head around when Meek drops some lyrics. It looked like Diddy was hit by some intense memories or something right then. Now, Meek has been pretty vocal, trying to squash rumors about his preference. The guy practically lived on Twitter for a week straight, posting about how much he's into women. But interestingly, he never outright denied the buzz about him being Diddy's so-called boy toy. Things quieted down for a bit, with folks realizing that Meek seemed to be on the edge of a mental breakdown, and nobody wanted to push him further. That is, until Diddy's ex-bodyguard dropped a bombshell, an audio clip allegedly featuring Meek and Diddy. The shockwaves were palpable. I mean, the voices on that recording, pretty darn close to Meek and Diddy. And the content? Let's just say it wasn't easy listening. Meek's screams, reportedly in serious distress, sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Trigger warning, this audio is very disturbing and very sensitive. Now, the ex-bodyguard in question, who recorded and leaked the audio, made an entire video narrating how it came out. He said it happened during one of Diddy's freak-offs, and he decided to lean by the door to record what he was hearing because he was shocked to see Meek allowing Diddy to pound him like this. He said Diddy intentionally spiked everybody's drinks at that party so they would be too drunk and too high to even know what's going on. But he didn't drink, and that's why he was sober enough to witness what he and Meek were doing.
Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the out. I don't drink. Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against cheeks.
And if that's not enough, there's more. An old song of Meek's surfaced online recently, and the lyrics, let's just say they paint a pretty vivid picture. In the track, Meek talks about chasing his Hollywood dreams, but there's this whole section where he seems to confess to getting involved with Diddy in some not-so-savory ways to make it big. And then, he's asking for forgiveness for his actions.
I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy. Dream chasers. I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy.
This is all crazy, but let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.